That guy approached me. It started with utensils.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ulitoka utensils?
Mimi nilitoka utensils, I tell you. For the last 20 years, I've been from cleaning utensils. So I cleaned them.
Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, my name is Hilda Wambugu and this channel is all about mental health care, self-care and fun. Now today I have an amazing guest with me here, but before we get to give her a chance to introduce herself, we ladies, we and the ladies out there, it's our prayer and our wish to get our ideal man, minus dark, tall and handsome. There is what we want in a man. Every lady has what he wants in a man. And today I would want us to listen to Veronica's story, which is who is here to inspire, to educate us, and I'm sure you'll go home with something. So Veronica, thank you very much for honoring my invite.
Welcome.
So who is Veronica, if we may start there?
Veronica is a lady aged in 4th floor. That is 41 years. A mother of 2.
Wow.
A mother of 2. One is 19 years, the other one is 15 years.
At 40?
A boy and a girl.
At 40?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So so meaning I am a middle-aged mom. Yes.
So Veronica, tell us, 40, 19 and?
Actually 20 and 15. Yeah.
So
Veronica is a young a person who got married when he was very young, at the age of 20 years. So you can...
Yani want to say at 20 ulikuwa unajua hii maneno?
Unafanya ni brush. You are making me to feel less shy. But at 20, I was already very informed about these manenos. And I think I already had conceived at 20.
Wow.
So my daughter is, the firstborn is a daughter. So I am a mom of 20 and 15 years. Yes.
So where is home?
Home is in, I was born and brought up to some extent in Muranga. And my parents shifted to Kirinyaga at late years. Yes. So how was your childhood? My childhood, I must say, was great because I was brought in a home where I had, I must say, a responsible dad and a responsible mom. Because we have, how I knew that they were responsible is because we were able to bring us up like we are 11 siblings. Wow. And only at times, at some extent, my dad is the only one who was working. Okay. So to make ends meet, he tried. He tried. Yeah, he really tried. He really tried. 11 kids is not a joke. Especially at that time when everybody else, parents valued maybe education and taking care of their children. And we could get everything that we wanted from them. Wow. Though they were really struggling, we could, these are the days that I usually know that they were struggling. And when I do that, I really appreciate them. It's not a joke. Nowadays, we are even unable to bring up 2 kids. But they were able to bring up 11 siblings. And we all went to school. We really thank God for them. Wow. Yes. So from such a family setup, are you the firstborn, the middle child, the lastborn? No, in the setup of 11, I am the middle child. Yeah, I'm the one who has the forgotten one. The forgotten, the last lot and the first lot. So meaning I'm the person in between. Do you know the most interesting thing? A parent who has all those kids, mzazi huitanishwa na the first kid, the last kids are pampered, so watoto wa katikati tends to be forgotten very times. But on the contrary, out of my family, I'm the only person who was taken to a boarding school. Wow. Yeah. Out of the 11, none has ever tasted boarding school, but I'm the person who was taken to the boarding school. So on the contrary, I think I was the remembered one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that way.
So boarding school was in primary school or
Yeah,
high
boarding
school?
school was in primary school some years, and then I remember it's a funny story how I had to be removed from the boarding school. My father and my late dad, my late mom were staunch Catholics. And I came, the boarding school that I was taken in was a Protestant. So I came home and confessed that I've become saved and started praying in tongues. I didn't go back to that school.
Why?
It's because of being a Protestant. They were very serious Catholics. And you cannot Atishakarabagara in the house. No. At the age of 4, I think at the age of around 10 years, I was already started praying in tongues.
Okay.
And
they were like...
And then one day, I woke up. I had a very bad dream. So that day I was removed from boarding school. I had a very, very bad dream that my dad was involved in an accident. So before he came out from home, he used to work in Nairobi and us reside in Shags. So I woke up. Before he even traveled, I told him, Dad, I had a very bad dream that you had gotten an accident. You know, he just slapped me. And after slapping me, in the evening, he got an accident.
What?
Yeah, he got an accident.
Wow.
My siblings can attest to this. He got an accident when he was coming home. So I had to be removed from that boarding school so that I don't continue.
They were like all these things that are bringing home the dreams, the beliefs.
Yeah, the beliefs.
The praying in tongues.
Yeah, they were not for that. So I had to be removed from boarding school so that I go back to the primary school, the local primary school, and continue studying with the other siblings so that I don't expose myself to those churches. So that is how I came out from the boarding school. Yeah.
What
So
about high school?
High school, I was in a very good provincial school. Nowadays they are called the inter-county schools. One in Murang'a, a very good school, and I performed well. And unfortunately, when I was almost done with my secondary school exams, my dad passed on.
Oh, sorry about that.
So when he passed on, you see, my mom was a housewife. So with 11 children, now you passed exams.
Yeah.
So with 11 kids, you don't expect your mom to jump to you. There are other small kids who are in primary school who needs to be settled first.
So you mean life changed after your father
immediately
died?
Because even if my mom was to access the property or some money to take us to school, definitely it had to take some time because of the succession process. So there, and because my dad, when he passed on, we had a matatu. We had a face me matatu. So when I cleared school, instead of joining college first, I went to become a makanga. A makanga is a tout. So I became a tout, a route vying from Murang'a to Embu.
Okay.
And I became a serious conductor.
Were you able to handle people out there?
Yes, very
I'm
well.
trying to imagine how matatu business
Mind you,
is.
I was 17 years. I cleared my form 4 when I was 17 years.
From high school to a tout?
To a tout. Less than 18 years. So I started working as a tout. And I was a very tough tout. Those people who know me, you never used to joke with me. Given that I'm short and young, people could tend to joke with me.
Yeah, because I'm trying to imagine your height
plus
my height
your
plus
age. My age. And people could start taking it. But I was a very tough tout by you. Even the people buying that route every day used to know me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started that. We started supporting now the small kids who are behind us and those who are now in front, who are in college.
So at 17 you started working to support your siblings?
Yeah, I support my siblings through the matatu business for my mom. So I worked that around 6 months or so. And I had to join my sister in Nyeri to support her also, bring up her child because she was working, and wherever she was working, our second born sister, wherever she was working, she could just raise small amount of money, and she could not be able to employ a house girl. So I had to join her somewhere in Nyeri. She was working somewhere in Nyeri. And I went and started being like a babysitter now to her, an unpaid babysitter.
So from a tout to a nanny.
A nanny, but an unpaid nanny. And mind you, in the business, matatu business, I wouldn't also take anything because I'm supporting
Because
my
you're there
mom.
to support.
My mom. So everything that I used to earn, I used to give my mom. So that, later my sister joined the matatu business. I left the matatu business and now went to Nyeri.
Okay.
So I think almost all of my sisters have been conductors. I don't think there's anyone who has never passed through that matatu business.
Wow.
So all of us have been exposed to that business, and we've done it for quite some time, so that we can be able to support even the young siblings who are behind us. So I went to Nyeri and now started working as a nanny.
Okay.
I brought up that child with supporting my sisters and everything, so that she was also supporting my mom in with some help. She was giving help to my mom. So when I stayed there for around 5 months or 6.
Okay.
Yeah, not even 5 months, around a year. But within that year, that is how now I met my husband.
Okay. Your lover.
I met my lover.
And before that, had you dated? Were you in a relationship before that?
No.
So this is the first man that you've met?
Yeah, the first man I have met.
Wow.
And I have met this man like very innocently without knowing. I didn't have that exposure. Like a man, you need a man like this, who is like this, or who is, I had no exposure in relationships to know what kind of a man I should choose or I should have. Yeah, so they just because of home circumstances. Of course, there are some things that force young ladies to fall into, maybe let me call them traps of relationships that you are not even prepared for. So because we never used to be that good with my sister, like not in relationship wise, but financially. We were also crawling and
not
struggling.
stable.
We were not stable. So when you get somebody that like maybe provides you with 200 shillings or 300 shillings, you go for a blow dry. That time, you see, now you had to look for some money that even if you are given 200 shillings to go for a blow dry, you would appreciate.
Yeah.
So there comes this guy who was a neighbor for my sister's neighbor. This guy used to see me as it was like a single house, so you can imagine the sink is outside. Ya kuoshea vyombo.
They're the single rooms, that bathrooms are outside, the toilets are outside.
And the sink for cleaning utensils is outside. So I used to correct my sister's utensils. I go start washing. So this guy, kumbe, he was observing me. So he was a neighbor now, an adjacent door. So he used to maybe tease me and tell me, can you be able to wash for me my utensils? Can I bring these utensils you wash for me? And me with my own, I don't know, stupid or good heart. Naivety or I don't know which heart was that. I could tell him, yes, bring, I clean for you.
So you'd clean your sister's utensils and his. Wow.
But I didn't know whether he's married or not. I didn't, it's this naivety kind of a thing. You are not able even to follow a person and know the background.
What kind of a person
he is or that. And umeongeleshwa hapa by a man, something maybe you have never done before. So you take that person like a very special person.
And of course, there are physiological changes within your body that are happening.
True.
So once this guy approaches you, of course kuna zile masignals mwili waza kutoatoa.
Waza kutoatoa, unafeel nimeanza kupendwa.
Yeah.
So there is somebody who can really love me or appreciate me like that. Or rather appreciate what I'm doing, like cleaning those utensils and taking care of that baby. So that guy approached me. It started with utensils.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ulitoka utensils?
Mimi nilitoka utensils, I told you. For the last 20 years. I've been from cleaning utensils. So nikaziosha, I cleaned them very well, and then he told me, put them in my house. I told him, let me first take these ones from my sister, and then I'll come place them in your house. So me, when I entered his house, I just saw a bed and a stool and a Panasonic radio. That is used to have 2 speakers, and then the tuning ninis are here on top. I don't know whether you know that radio thing. So me, I was like, and where am I even placing these utensils? He told me place them down there. There was a stove, not a gas.
Not a gas.
Stove. Mimi, I just placed them down there, and then I walked out of the house. So the next after one week, still I had to clean the utensils again. So I saw this guy. Even I think he was also shy. Like he didn't know how to approach a lady.
So was he paying you, or you were cleaning these utensils for free?
It is for free. It is for free. He wasn't paying me.
A friend doing wifely duties.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is where I want to correct ladies, young ladies. Stop doing wifely duties when even somebody has not even known where you come from.
Yeah.
Where you are going. You should know what this person really wants with you before you start this wifely duties.
Yeah.
So if you have a boyfriend and he's telling you, kuja unioshea vyombo, unifulie viatu, you wipe his shoes and do the wifely duties that somebody is supposed to do, and you run away. Run away.
You clean utensils that were used by another girlfriend
who was there to cook. Yes. So take care of yourself. This is to the young ladies who wants to get married, and you know the kind of person you want in life, and what you want yourself in life, and what kind of a person you want. So I started cleaning the utensils. I cleaned the second time. I cleaned the third time, the fourth time, and then the fifth time, I think the utensils were cleaned.
By who?
By me, completely, into his house.
Okay. So this love journey began there.
Yeah.
You've cleaned the utensils the first time, the second time, the fifth time is
and then
here.
In between there, there is a time I was cleaning the clothes. I was cleaning clothes for my sister.
Okay.
So when he just came, with my good heart, I just told him, those are just 3 shirts and 3 trousers. I think I washed for you, and socks.
For free again?
For free again. You see,
okay.
I washed for him. Okay, and then I didn't understand what love is. Like, I could feel there is something I'm feeling.
But you don't understand
I don't understand what is this, but I could feel that niko na feeling zake. In me, I could feel that I'm starting to
develop some
feelings for him. So after cleaning the clothes now, there came time for Valentine. Valentine. You see, we hadn't met with this guy before. So me, he told me the Valentine is upcoming, and of course I used to, now after school, I used to hear people talk about Valentine, and I heard Valentine is about 2 people who love each other. So Mimi, I had to agree to be taken out.
Because already you've developed feelings.
And I've already started trusting this man. If at all I can get to his house, he could even leave his keys. Yes, he could leave his keys when he's going to work. So that I wipe the house, I clean the utensils, and if there are any clothes there, I wash.
When?
Yes, he used to leave his keys for me. And that time I was still in my sister's house.
And did he support you at any point, like financially?
No, you see, now he used to give me like 200 shillings and tell me go for broad drive. Yeah, so those 200 shillings I used to feel like my sister cannot even afford, because
Yeah,
we used to
because she-
even have no food. Actually, we were very, very, I don't know, we were very down financially. So when he gave me 200, and my sister one day noticed and asked me, where did you get money for blood drive from? I told him, me, I've just decided when the son is asleep, I go and start hustling and in a saloon. That's where they bombard my hair and we did the blood drive. So Apple, I lied to her. So you see, not even supporting me as per se,
Yeah.
but is a broad rice to be too simple. So that day, I had to run away from my sister.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. And I did it. I waited for her to come out from work. I told her I'm going somewhere to say hi to a friend that we were schooling together in secondary school, who is living in the Karoko town that we used to live.
Okay.
And that was the last day that I entered my sister's house.
What?
That was the last day I got married. That is how I got married.
Utensils, Valentine's, marriage.
Marriage.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So what happened that day?
That day we went out. Okay, like I was dressed. I was having a rongi, and my sister asked me, "You're not used to putting on a rongi even when you are going to the market. What was up today?" Nikamwambia, I am coming back, and since it nearly is very cold and I'm not used to that cold weather, let me put on a trouser. So Jama had prepared something, shoes. She had bought shoes because I didn't have good shoes, and even clothes I didn't have good clothes. So he had bought me a jacket and some shoes, flat shoes. So after the nimekimbia from home, then he told me put on these shoes, and then we went somewhere in a hotel in Nyeri. After that, we went and ate. I took some meat, beef stew and chapo. And then from there, we went now to a crab. I asked him, why are we in a crab?
First time.
First time. He told me, okay, I used to see crabs because I was a conductor and I used to drink, but I never used to drink. So me, when I went in the crab, he told me, I'm not going to. I asked for soda, and then he asked for Guinness. And then after he took the first Guinness, he told me, you can. This is a Valentine Day is a special day for everyone, for people who love each other. I'm like, so we already love each other.
Since when?
Since when did we start loving each other? So I'm like, okay. He told me a special day like this, you will take a glass of wine. Just me.
Some wine.
Yeah, some wine. A glass of wine. So me, I didn't know what is a wine, what is beer, what is this. So he brought some black ice. Black ice. That time it used to be called Gadegengi. That beer is, I just took two. I took the first sip and I had it sweet. So me, it's not beer, and I'm used to seeing people very drunk, thinking that beer is very bitter. So me, when I take this and it is very sweet, I don't have, I had no doubt that it is not beer. So me, I took the first bottle, very sweet.
And of course he'll take it like water.
Yeah, because it is water, it is sweet. Second bottle, and then I had my legs started feeling shaky. I'm like, what is happening with my legs? Have I gotten sick? So I was already drunk with the second bottle. And him, I think he was in the fourth or so.
Sober.
Of Guinness. Sober. Sober. I think he was already used to taking beer. So me, I took the second beer and I started feeling, that is not the way a person should feel. Let me tell you, from the second and the third, I didn't know how I went to his house. How I got to his house, even today, is still a mystery to me. I don't know.
You black ice.
Black ice. I don't know how I got to his house.
Two of them.
two
led
of them,
you
and I
to
think
his house.
the third one led me to his house. Young ladies should be very careful on what you are doing.
Yeah.
When you make decision of actually alcohol. Alcohol to ladies are sometimes is very misleading. I'm not saying that I have messed my life, but you see, I took beer, and while if I was sober, I would have decided to either go back home to my mom,
True.
or go back and apologize to my sister.
True.
I wouldn't be found in a man's house.
True.
So when you're taking beer and when you're taking alcohol, be conscious, because
Again,
this one-
that night you do not have made the decisions
Yeah.
that you made that night.
Yes, true.
Some of the things that happened that night probably would not have
not
happened.
have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, me, I just found myself in his house, just next to my sister. So do you think?
By the it's the same plot,
Yes, the same plot. Do you think?
different house.
Yes. Do you think I could walk out of that house when my sister doesn't have even somebody to take care of the child? And he's
Ukasema
going back
uolewe
to her.
mapema.
Sasa mimi, I decided that I have to be there. There is no doubt that I have to.
You have to get married.
Have to get married. This was his happiness.
Oh,
So, let me tell you something. Imagine that is how I got married. I don't know whether it's a come we stay or married. Ukiendelea, you will.
So,
you will.
I want to ask a question. So after that night, did he do anything to you,
Yes, he
or
had-
he let you sleep
No,
till morning,
he
knowing
didn't
that?
let me sleep. How? He didn't let me sleep. We had sex. And how I knew we had sex is, of course, the discomfort in the morning. You would feel that you've never felt this again. This is the discomfort that you feel. And I had to ask him, is there anything that happened yesterday night? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? He started saying, I thought you know these things. I told him, no, I'm feeling some pain and I'm feeling some discomfort. What happened? Then he had to explain to me what happened from the club to his house, how he came, and then what he had to do in his house.
Wow.
He told me that we had had sex. I didn't get surprised at that moment because I didn't think of the consequences that would be there when you have sex, unprotected sex. So me, I told him.
So after he told you that, what did you do?
Nothing.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
Did
Why
you have regrets?
No, me in the first place, you know that by the way, I was very naive. I didn't know in Kitambos. Sometimes we never used to discuss with our parents that when you can get pregnant, like not the exposure for nowadays. When you talk to your daughter or tell them that unprotected sex can give you diseases, can give you pregnancies, can lead you to so many things. We didn't have that exposure with our parents those times.
And I think up until now, not every parent is open to their kids about what is happening.
True.
Which I feel it's important to parents out there to let their kids know or have this discussion of sexuality freely with their teenagers without hiding them. Because if probably your sister or your mom had talked to you about that, you would have known a man would do this to you. Secondly, after drinking, we only tell our kids or our parents used to tell us that drinking is bad, but could not explain to us
Being with
why.
a boy is bad.
Yes, being with a boy is bad, but what does that mean? Will he talk to me and I get pregnant, or what does it mean? So I feel like it is important. But what has happened? Parents have left this to teachers, all to the teenagers to explore and know what is sex on their
what
own.
is of course, and that is something that should be looked at because if you're not free with your children, they will fall into the same traps. And I usually talk to my daughter and tell her we are free with her, and I tell her you need to do this and this before this.
Yeah.
Because even if you get into a relationship with a boy,
True.
definitely that boy will continue with his studies,
True,
but
true,
you'll have to
true.
drop, because I won't take responsibility of bringing up your child.
Yeah.
You'll have to step down from school and start taking responsibility of your child.
True.
So I don't think it is bad also to be free with them.
To let them know
To
what
let
is
them know
out
what is
there
out
and the
there.
consequences of what they are doing.
Even my daughter sees me talking today, she knows where she came from.
Yeah.
She knows the product.
Wow.
How I have already told her the story. She knows.
Okay. So what happened after that night?
After that night,
Amekuambia
when we
what
had
you
sex,
did?
like I was naive, I didn't know. I sijui ama ni fala ama what is something, I didn't know even how to calculate safeties. So the first question he asked me, are you safe? I told him what is being safe. So he explained to me. We even counted with him. So nikamwambia, the last periods I had were this and this and this. So he told me, you are definitely not safe today.
Wow. So he knew how to count.
Yeah, he knew how to count dates, let me tell you. But me, I didn't know. So he told me, you are not safe. So he told me, that is where now I started shaking. Let's wait for 1 month.
But you already married. Ulisema huku sitoki.
Mimi si ati ni kutoka. Si ati ni kutoka. Let me tell you, I was fearing.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
What do you tell your
What do you
sister?
tell your
The whole
sister
night you were not
you
there.
went to your friend to visit your friend
And slept there.
I slept there. How? Now she would insist of liking to know
Which friend
which
is
friend
this?
is this,
Yeah.
and where did she sleep. So me, I said, sitatoka kwa
Kwa
let me
nyumba.
just stick there. And then before he even told me, after telling me definitely you are not safe, we continued again now.
You continued with the act.
Yes.
After the discomfort, the
The
pain.
pain, and now it lazima sasa, at least now the second time it cannot be that painful.
Okay.
Yeah. So me, I continued until kitu 12. I asked
Midday.
him, yes, midday. I asked him, now what will happen if I'm not safe?
After enjoying yourself.
After enjoying myself, I asked him, what will happen if I'm not safe? He said, you definitely become pregnant. Wow. So we waited for the first month. Oh, after now, whatever, my sister had to report home. That
you're
I'm
missing.
I'm missing, I'm
Kumbe
not home.
You're in the next
I'm in
door.
the next door.
Enjoying yourself.
Enjoying myself.
Uh-huh.
Where she had to tell me now, she had to tell mom, I am missing. But there is a neighbor there with, unajua kukosangi watu wako na muhahi. They said they saw me entering in the house. And of course the toilet, unaenda nje.
Outside.
So there is somebody who saw me sneaking to the toilet. And she had to tell my sister that your sister is in that house. She's not lost. So my sister had to call home and say that I've gotten married.
Did she come to look for you?
She came. Why? And my sister, if she can listen to this, the way she knocked that door, she created an alarm in everybody, like in the plot, came outside as she tried to call me from the house. But Mimi, I wouldn't open.
Of course, you're in your husband's house.
No, even what was making me not to open, it is fear. Because I know she would have beaten me up like hell. Because the way we are brought up, by the way, we are very tough to our children, because my mom used to be tough. Bringing up 8 girls is not a joke. So we are 8 girls in our home and 3 guys. So bringing up 8 girls, so we've been brought up in a way that we are very tough. Very, very tough. So I knew my sister would beat me up like hell, and she's the second born. I'm the 6th born. You see, now there's like an age difference. So I knew if she found me, she would beat me like my mom. So I had to close the door and told him, I don't know what he will use, whether it is the bed. If she hits the door, it doesn't open. We had to turn the bed now to close the door completely.
Wow.
so that she doesn't push the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. She gave up and went to sleep.
Things we do for love.
Yeah, things we do for love. She went to sleep. So me the following morning, there is a college that my mom had gotten sponsorship in Thika to do public relations. Na huyu msichana ndio huyu amelala wapi?
Amelala kwa boyfriend.
Na ni sponsorship anatafutiwa because we are vulnerable. We cannot, my mom cannot be able to pay college.
Aki parents. The things parents go through.
She cannot be able to pay. So me, public relations, the by then 2 years, a diploma. I went, I told him now my mom is looking for me because there is a college I'm supposed to attend to, and it's a sponsorship from a friend. Then I should be reporting. Nasikia ni February. I reported in March, not knowing that I'm pregnant already.
Whoa.
I became pregnant in that night.
Kumbe, all this time you were enjoying, you were making a baby.
I was making a baby, my firstborn daughter. Yeah.
So what happened after you discovered that you're pregnant?
I discovered I'm pregnant. I think you far like kubwa sana. I discovered I'm pregnant at around the 4th month.
4th month?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I couldn't, you couldn't believe that you are pregnant.
Yeah.
In the
Again,
first place, you are a pregnant person for the first time.
yeah,
You
you
know
don't understand what pregnancy
is, what is being pregnant. You just there in the blue moon. You cannot talk to anyone because these things, you cannot go back home.
4th month.
Yes, you cannot go to your sister. And actually, a friend of mine who took me to a clinic when we were in college. I joined college in March. When we were in college, she took me to a clinic that was there. So I started explaining to the doctor how I'm feeling. But the doctor told me, you are already pregnant. Can't you see then your belly is already started being big? So we had to do a PDT test and ikakuja positive, of course.
Like
the 4th month, like instantly,
yeah.
5 minutes. So me, I think by then I didn't understand what was depression, but I think I became depressed.
You went through depression and recovers without even knowing.
Yeah, I called him. I looked for a phone because I didn't have a phone. He had a phone. By the way, that time, CDG Motorola that 310. He took the phone. Those times we used to use the phones called simu ya jamii. You could go and booth pay, and then somebody is called. I called him. I told him I wanted to see you this weekend because there is something I need to tell you. The doctor now started asking me, when did you last have an intercourse, that unprotected sex? I told him on 14th February. That is Valentine's Day. So he told me that is when you became pregnant. So it means the whole of February you are pregnant, the whole of March you are pregnant, the whole of this April you are pregnant. So you are 3 months pregnant. Those were the saddest news for me as a young girl who has come from matatu industry without being touched by a man.
A nanny?
To a nanny.
And now
when I'm going to college, I'm pregnant.
So after you called this man,
I called
what was his response?
He told me he know of a place that was the most heartbreaking news. He knows of a place where we can go, pay 10,000 and get the baby aborted.
At 4 months?
At 3 months.
3 months.
He told me there's somewhere he knows we can pay 10,000 and do an MVA. By then I didn't know it's called an MVA. So he told me I should prepare. On Friday after my classes, I pay a vehicle to Nyeri, and then he takes me to a doctor who knows that can abort.
Help you go through abortion.
Yeah, through abortion. I told him, is this what we made on 14th February? You are saying we do away with it. First of all, what is abortion? You see, I'm also very naive on some things. I don't know how to go about it. I've had people aborting and dying,
especially at
that time where we used to it was not even done in a hospital, was done by some quacks like so I asked him, how do I abort? What is this abortion you're talking about? So he told me it is as easy as you may not think, because it's a 5 minutes thing. So I started. So I came in the weekend, but I had decided I'm not aborting. In myself, I had decided
you won't do an
I
abortion.
won't do an abortion. It is bad. It is bad. I usually tell my daughter, never do that thing. Even if you find that yourself you are pregnant, just come, we discuss about it. But don't abort. Don't try to abort a kid. Because she was a victim. She would have been aborted.
Yeah, true.
If I made a decision to abort at my age,
you could have made that decision to abort her.
So I came during the weekend, and then he asked me, "Are you ready?" I think he had already talked with a certain doctor. Are you ready for this? Nikamwambia, I'm not ready for this, and I've come to tell you that I am not doing any abortion. I am not doing any abortion. Let me go back to school, nisukumane na pregnancy yangu, niendelee nayo until that time that I may not be able to go to school.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
It was good because those courses at times you can do online and you can be in school. By then that is when ilikuwa inaitwa sijui what distance learning.
Distant learning.
Yeah, distant learning.
Yeah.
So me in the second around September, see now I am 2 months to delivery. And then in college, of course, no one asks you. So you just continue with your studies until that time that you can go home and deliver.
Yeah.
So I went back. I in around September, I was sent for an internship for 2 months somewhere in Thika, and went did my internship and completed my first internship. So November came, time of delivery. So me I had to come out from school, but in around 6 months around 6 months now I had to go report to my mom. This is what is happening, and the person responsible is telling me to abort the child, but I refused to abort. So meaning this person is not interested in me.
Yeah.
And then when you check the situation at home, it is very bad that you cannot take another kid there. And my mom used to tell us, please don't bring kids here, because you can see the burden that I have, and I may not be in a position to help you bring up your child
for the situation that was back at home.
So see me, I think I had to strain. So me, I took my box and everything, because I knew I cannot take this kid home. Do you know what happened? I went and entered his house.
After school, you packed and went to his house?
To his house.
What do you mean?
Yes. Imagine that I'm remaining 1 more year to go to now another year until I graduate.
Yeah.
So, me, I packed.
From school?
Straight to me. I went and opened. I used to have keys, spare key. So I went and opened. So he met me. So this guy was a drunkard, and I had not noted.
What was his reaction when he met you?
You know, he did not realize.
He knows that you're in school.
No.
He had made it clear
I'm pregnant,
that,
and he had made it clear that I abort, so I am not supposed to be in his house.
Yes.
So his reaction was, he came home and really beat me up.
Well, pregnant,
he was
almost due.
He was drunk, almost due, a week too.
Whoa,
A week too. He beat me up and told me what I'm doing in his house. He doesn't really understand. And you see, now I'm from school, I cannot go back home because I wouldn't even withhold that shame.
I have a question. Do you feel like maybe if your mom had not said that no one should bring a kid here, probably you could have gone home and explained what happened, you are pregnant, for their support and all
You
that.
know, parents usually say that, like maybe wrong time. They used to say that to threaten us,
Yes.
not knowing it actually has
it can happen.
it can happen, and they also have a side effects
Yeah.
on her whatever she talked about. Because I believe after that, after what happened, I'll continue with the story. After now, that time for delivery came, he came and beat me up, and I didn't tell anyone. that he beat me up, and I still continued went to stay in that
Yeah.
house because I
did not
knew
have
I didn't
anywhere
have
to
anywhere
go.
to go. Like even situation at home, you even knew you couldn't have taken that child. So me, I went to his house, and a week two, he was not even bothered. Kumbe this guy was a DDO, a daily drinking officer that I didn't know.
Because you
never
had not seen
quoted,
that.
you had not,
Yeah,
you
true.
hadn't even
True.
had time to know him.
Yeah.
The time I'm knowing him, I had have already sex, and I was off to college. You see, I didn't even have
Yeah,
time to know him, and I'm already pregnant, and I'm already due. I remember my sister and my brother-in-law took me to the hospital because I told them my due date is already passed, and it's already past 2 weeks.
And he's not bothering.
And I'm not having any contractions, I'm not having any pains, I'm not having anything or labor pains or something. So they had to take me to the hospital. Then when I was taken to the hospital, I was told you are already due. It's only that your bones haziwezi contract,
Yeah.
so you cannot have labor pains. You'd even have stayed with this pregnancy for 10 months without knowing, and the kid would have been damaged in the womb because you don't have contractions. You cannot be able to deliver normally. So I was taken to theater.
Was he there?
No, he was not there because I was taken by my sister and my brother-in-law, another now sister. So when they took me to the hospital, they came and talked to him and told him, now your wife is in the hospital and you need to go and see her. We've left her when she have gone to the theater because it's like an emergency because her due date is already done. So me, I went to the theater, and on waking up the following morning, I saw I had gotten a daughter. A daughter who is a copy paste
Of him.
But he said the pregnancy is not his. Yeah, he said it's not his child, it's not her child.
But the baby looked exactly
but the doctor,
like him.
even the doctor told him, you are so stupid, young man, because even this child, you don't need a DNA.
He looks like you.
He looks like
She
you.
looks like you.
Even there is funny because there is in the fingers kwa miguu yake there is a finger that is somehow up,
Like
Dogo,
his.
like his. So we even looked at the legs and told him, remove your shoes. This is your finger.
Yeah.
You see. So I think what he did, he just disappeared. So you see, those times used to be done, not an electives, yes, but tulikuwa tunakufishwa completely. So he didn't come. So we used to stay in the hospital for 7 days before you go home. So the 7 days, I just saw him the following day coming to see the child and denying the child. So from there, I didn't see him again. So when I realized I'm already 7 days and past 7 days, why am I past 7 days? Because of bill.
Yeah.
Because there is no one to pay
your bill.
my bills. My sister is not capable of paying my bills. She's not able. She could have wished to pay.
Yeah.
But you see, her situation was again bad. So after the 8th day, now things became worse, and I think I became depressed, and the wood burst. So guess what? Taken back to the theater to be
Another more days in the hospital.
another more days in the hospital. So my mom was wondering, this girl I heard she went to the hospital. My mom
She delivered.
She has a girl. What has happened that she's
not
not
coming
out of
home.
the hospital? But she was annoyed. My mom was very annoyed, but because I passed all those 3 things and I never went back to her to talk to her about it. And when she realized that I'm pregnant and the guy was telling me not to abort, my mom told me, you come home. will know what to do. But for me, I went to him. So he paid my mom. Now after realizing that the Nini is the one that is keeping me in the hospital, she came. Now the bill was around 50,000 because I had been taken back to the theater to be researched. So she came, and the funny thing, you see, like I don't know what happened, because my mom cleared the bill. And imagine, after clearing the bill, she had even come with a taxi to pick me up and
Of
take
course,
me home.
where else would you have gone?
Of course. And before I even mention, the mother to my husband came to the hospital and gave a name to that
To your daughter?
to my daughter, and gave the 3 names to my daughter, and she went. But she didn't pay. She just went.
But your mom came
My mom
through.
came through. So the daughter was already named. So when she came, she realized that I have named the daughter
after the husband's
mother.
Yeah.
So when she came, she just said, it's okay. This is a blessing.
Yeah.
So I've come for you. So my mom came for me and paid. Guess what? After she paid, where did I go?
Of course, with your mom.
No, you are wrong.
Oh no. Oh no. To the same husband?
I went to my house.
Oh my goodness.
Say, this is my house. This is my marriage. I've already started now understanding marriage.
What do you mean?
Yes, this is my marriage.
So what happened to your mom who came, cleared the bill?
No, she was okay. She said, if it is your choice, fine.
Whoa.
She gave me 3,000 shillings so that I go home. And she even took me to that house. My mom, she took me to that house because it is my choice. Yeah, it is my choice. She took me to that house and I went.
Girls
and they
out
left me
there,
there.
are you learning anything? Mom, you've gotten pregnant, you are underage, you've hidden it from your mom all this time, but after all, after everything that you've done, this mom still comes through for the daughter.
She comes through. And she even takes me to that house because it is my choice.
To the husband's house.
To the husband's house.